Hey guys, so I just wanted to help out a few people having problems with an empty rec array towards the end of the practical. So I'm just down to this section here. I've got MP equals the name of this file, etc., etc., the budget file, etc., and then I've got this section here which has got the usual text in there, but I've changed. This silent to equal false. It just gives me a readout of what's happening, what the model's printing out. And then let's just run this here for a second. Oh crap. There we go. By the way, this is not a good practical, this is not a bad practical, this is just someone in the class's practical that I'm just using to demonstrate these things. So none of this is right and none of this is wrong, by the way. So okay, so that's run, I think, fairly successfully. Yep, we've got end of simulation, normal termination, particle tracking complete. So we can go to the next stage. Ooh, this one here, down to explain, whatever this section is. And so here, this is where it reads in those endpoint files, and you can say, hey, if the destination cell is this, I want to know. So that's the, that might or might not be like a location where the well is or an area of interest, but it's something that you want to get the particle tracking to, and understand what cells, where the particles have set off from, and they've ended up in these cells here. So that's why we call them destination cells, or that's what they call them in the program. So yeah, destination cells is this. So we get the data that got to there. Sorry, that's a bit of a word spaghetti. Anyway, so all day, this is just a debugging option. So when I did that, I haven't got, it's this empty rec array problem, right? So, well EPD, the rec array is got, so a rec array is a recorded array. So it's an array where it's like a pandas data frame. It's very similar in sort of theme. You have data types, and it tells you, not only their name but the format which it's in. So this is an integer of less than 8. I don't know, something like that. It's an integer format, effectively. So if we do all data, we see this massive recorded array. So that one there, the first we know is particle ID. So 0 is particle ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next one is particle group. And the next is status. So 2, I'd imagine, is fine. Initial time is 0. Final time is 2.12. Initial grid. Okay, so these ones here, like towards the end, these ones are actually tell you where it started and where it finished. And what it's telling you is that absolutely no particles that started wherever they started ended up in this cell here. I know that this sounds like, that's kind of hard to see how that happened, but it's just the fact that, whatever's controlled the model, it's worked correctly, but just nothing's gone into the well cells or close to the well cells. Now the question is, why is that the case? And basically, the reason is that the person's dimensions are a little bit off. What's happening is all the fluid flow is just completely skipping the well cells, and that's the problem with this model. So you need to change your dimensions. Now, you should have already changed your dimensions, because in order to do the RSME, that's a good sort of check for us, because in order to pass that section, your model dimensions have to be fairly close to what those values are, because we know what those values are. So it's a good check. So the person who's done this, or around this area and is having problems, has probably also not got the RSME function working yet, would be my thinking. If it's the case that you've managed to sort out the RSME function, and you're getting values very close to what we've published, then please contact me as soon as possible, because that might be an issue. But I'd imagine that these values are not going to give anything close to what we published as the RSME values. So, okay, that's all I've really got to say. Thanks.